were talking about bands that we'd met before, and hanging out at Marilyn Manson's bus. We had a chance to, several times we
so crazy.
hung out with Korn. But the neatest thing, Rotten, was we had tickets, and I've been to Ozfest several times.
Yeah.
I only stayed for Ozzy one time. We left twice. We went, and we left when Ozzy played just to beat the traffic. I like Ozzy, but I was there to see the bands open, like Slipknot and people like that.
Okay.
But two cool stories real quick was Ozzy was playing the Coliseum. We had tickets to go see him. It was Ozzy, Sepultura, and Typo Negative. And my buddy called me, and he's like, dude, I'm at the mall, and Max Cavalera and Igor Cavalera from Sepultura is out here at the mall, just walking around, right?
Yeah.
So me and Freeman Mama, we go to the mall, and I'm like, dude, Igor Cavalera from Sao Paulo, Brazil is walking around our mall. So we go out there, right? And we're looking over the third floor looking for him. And all of a sudden, this deep voice said, go ahead and jump. And I turned around, dude, and it was Peter Steele from Typo Negative, the singer of Typo Negative, which had just posed in Playgirl magazine. And he died not long after that. But we sit there for 45 minutes talking to Peter Steele about going on. I think he was on Jerry Springer.
Yeah.
Maybe Oprah Winfrey, something like that. But we just sit there and talk to Peter Steele, dude, forever. And I was like, I don't want to interrupt you for an autograph, but you are Peter Steele. We got tickets to go see you tonight in concert.
Yeah.
And he signed his name, dude. And where it says Peter Steele, he's got an O and a negative in it, like for Typo Negative, right, dude. But like Christian Woman, Black Number One, God, all those songs. But I went out there to see if Sepultura was out there and got to hang out with Peter Steele.
From Typo.
The craziest thing in the world.
Cow.
Yeah. Another story. These are some crazy, far-fetched stories. We've always listened to Shaggy, right?
Yeah.
Boombastic Shaggy. Well, he was playing our Coliseum opening for the Backstreet Boys. Me and Freeman Mommy had saw the Backstreet Boys. We took my niece to see them. But this time, dude, it was sold out. Couldn't get tickets to get in. And Shaggy was opening. We would have went and saw Shaggy and left. So me and my buddy was going to a convenience store that night to get some Mountain Dews or something. And we passed the store, dude, and there was Shaggy's bus. So I was like, oh, my God. Freeman Mommy's going to kill me, but that's Shaggy's bus right there. I've got to go try to get his autograph. Yeah. So I had the CD, the Boombastic CD, which was older stuff. That's more Jamaican-style stuff than his pop stuff that he come out with. So I went and I knocked on the door, and I was like, Shaggy, is Shaggy in there? This lady answered the door, and she's like, Shaggy's at Wendy's right there beside the gas station. So I turned around. And the lady was standing there, and I turned around and I said, Wendy's is closed.
Oh,
and,
man.
Yeah, I thought to myself, I was like, yeah, she's trying to set me up. She's like, no, look at the gentleman standing in the window. And I looked, and there was Shaggy, dude, standing in the window ordering his food. Just played to the sold-out Coliseum. So I walked over there, and I was like, Mr. Shaggy, man, epic fan. Dude, and he talked to us for like 45 minutes outside the bus. He had just played to a sold-out Coliseum and gave us like 45 minutes of his time while he ate his Wendy's. That's a crazy story, dude. But he signed all kinds of stuff for Freeman Mommy. But Freeman Mommy really wanted to see him, and here I was talking to Shaggy, dude. It was one of the craziest things ever.
Man, talking to people like that it is amazing. But sometimes, like I've been at a bar or like a club or something, I see somebody that I've always admired musically, and I just don't get up and go talk to them. Like I told you some of the stories when I was in radio, I got to meet a whole bunch of really cool people, a whole bunch of different, a lot of different concerts that I got to go to, and they all were just so nice. And then I see different interviews of people on TV saying that they were just the worst, hosts and stuff for concerts, but I didn't get that. These people are going so far out of their way to do what they like to do, growing up, learning how to play instruments and realizing that they had a voice as an instrument, I think that it's the coolest thing, dude, that you got to meet and hang out with so many people unrelated, to your everyday life. It's just the coolest thing.
Yeah. And we've just been lucky, man. I know there's other stories. I'm trying to think of some. One of the coolest stories that I guess that I have was we went to this festival. It was like real heavy bands, Norma Jean,
Yeah.
Poison the Well, a lot of bands
Wow.
like that. Opeth was there, Gore. But I grew up playing drums, taking lessons, but I grew up listening to the band Death and Strapping Young Lad, and the drummer Gene Hoglan, Gene the Machine Hoglan, has always been an idol to me. So we went to this festival in Winston-Salem, North Carolina once, and we were standing there watching. It was Opeth or
right. Gore
somebody like that. And I looked over and Freeman was like, there's Gene Hoglan right there, just standing watching the bands. So I went over and got my picture with him, and I've posted this picture several times online. But we stood there and talked in between bands and ended up watching Gore together and like 2 other bands. And Gene was just hanging out with me, man. It was the craziest thing ever. And then Strapping Young Lad played later that day.
I needed somebody cool to hang out with.
Yeah, dude, it was mind blowing, man. Mind blowing.
I got starstruck one time. We did a thing where everybody goes into the green room, and inside the green room, for a talent, you have to make sure the security is there, and that they have specifics like don't do this or don't do that. We can't have too many people inside the room, break fire code, blah blah blah. Well, Gwen Stefani, with no doubt, was playing.
Right.
And it was our turn. It was me and like 2 other guys from the radio station had to go in there and to make sure the room was all cleared out and that the tables were set up and that, they had a roller banner for the radio station was up. But then Gwen Stefani and her group came in to sit down at this table, and she was so nice, dude. But she came up and shook my hand, and I got starstruck, man. Her skin was like porcelain white. It was just beautiful, glowing human being. And I didn't have anything else to say. I was just like, holy cow, man, this is so cool. Gwen Stefani.
Totally speechless. Yeah, dude. And you know what? And we're going to have a lot of these stories on Rotten and the Freeman Show, man. I'm so stoked to talk about a lot of this stuff because, man, me and you click on so many things, Rotten.
Absolutely.
It's going to be epic, dude. And I know that there's other stories of meeting people that, gosh,
you wouldn't think that you would meet, but you have met. And a lot of people do have this opportunity, but just haven't shared the story. That's what I'm excited for, is to have other people just like you and me who are unrelated to the huge world of talent out there to come in and say their story. I'm excited for it. Coolest concert you've ever been to that you won't forget ever?
I will say, all right, let me speak about this. I'll get to the coolest, but Blink-182 has been in the news a lot lately because they come back together and they play Coachella, right?
Yeah.
I got to say the 2 worst shows that I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of concerts. I've seen country. I've seen Rod Stewart. I've seen a lot of death metal. I've seen a lot of heavy bands. Like we just went and saw Slipknot.
Oh, dude, are you saying
like K-pop?
Rod Stewart's a bad concert?
No. Okay. I'm saying I've seen a lot of concerts, but the 2 worst bands, and I've seen a lot of hype about Blink-182 getting together, but the 2 worst bands I've ever seen in my life in concert, one was Blink-182, 2 was Weezer.
What?
Believe it or not, Weezer live, they literally, and anybody listening to this will understand that has seen Weezer live. It's almost like they all have stage fright, dude. They're not interactive. They get up there, they stand, they play, and then they leave the stage, dude. There was no talking in between songs. There was nothing from Weezer.
They must have been
and then they done like a goulash up, a song that had like Dope Nose and a lot of their hits. So most of the songs were like B-sides and stuff that you really didn't want to hear. They ended with Buddy Holly, but Weezer, dude, I was so disappointed. And somebody that had saw Weezer before I saw him told me, they said, don't expect their videos whenever you see them live because they're just going to get up there and play and then get off the stage. But, Blink-182 was terrible. Weezer was terrible. And those were 2 bands that I was really excited to see. But the band, I think that put forth the most energy for knowing that you're paying for a ticket, dude, was Green Day. For a pop punk band. But then, I don't know, man. I like bands like Suffocation, Morbid Angel. I like all kinds of music, man.
Just a wee tad heavier than Weezer.
Yeah, just a wee, yeah. But I grew up playing drums, so I like the heavy double bass.
Dude, there's nothing like playing the drums behind a heavy band. Dude, one of the worst bands I've ever seen in my entire life was Bob Dylan. but I'm a huge Dylan fan. I like
This.
he did the whole and all everybody on the band on the stage. It's almost like they all needed, God forbid, because I'll be there one day too, but they all needed walkers with the tennis balls on the bottom. It was a sight to see for sure. Two coolest bands that I think I've ever seen. One was Prince, all-time favorite band that I've ever seen, because they just kept rolling instruments out for him to play, and he played every last one of them like flawlessly.
We never saw Prince, but I wished I would have. Oh my God,
it was amazing. And then Ray Charles. I watched Ray Charles play. I went hiking with a friend of mine, and we ended up at this huge opening on the side of a mountain, and the Salt Lake City orchestra was there, and they played the 1812 Overture, and Ray Charles came out and played. It was amazing. Yeah. So that's an experience.
One of the most mind-blowing concerts that I saw was Pink Floyd. We went to the Division Bell tour at Carter Finley Football Stadium for NC State, and then Slipknot's good live. But I got to say, the most energetic, fun, sing every word song concert that I've ever been to was Rage Against the Machine.
Swift? Rage?
Not Taylor Swift. Rage Against the Machine, dude. Rage Against the Machine, I mean, they played every chord, every note, every lyric. Flawless, man. And the energy from the crowd is, you didn't have to be on the floor for Rage Against the Machine for it to be hype, dude. I think the whole tour, this past tour, sold out in like 30 seconds. And then they have opening extra seats after that. And then it was delayed 2 years. So we saw them last summer, but Rage Against the Machine was
pretty good.
Dude, I'm still in awe of it.
I still haven't seen Rage.
Totally amazing.
I haven't seen Rage. I think that they have broke the formula for that kind of music. It's a lot of it's just 4/4, right? But the way that they play it, and the way that everything is synced together, and the way that his voice clicks with everything, it's right on the 1 and 3. So it's pretty impressive what they did with it. But they have the side projects they show up with in different albums,
Right.
I like everything that they do. They did something with Run the Jewels, which I'm a huge fan of that band. Have you heard?
Yeah, Run the Jewels opened.
Yes. Oh man, so good.
Mike and the white dude. Yeah, dude, they opened, and it's crazy when we went to see them. Run the Jewels opened, but the entire concert opened with "We Are the World." We are the world. They played that song, dude, in the crowd. Oh yeah, they played it over the PA system with the lights out. We are the world.
They played "We Are the World."
We Are the World over the PA system, and then it went in, because it's about humanity pretty much.
Yeah,
Rage is about that. Run the Jewels is about that, and it was pretty amazing.